Romancing the Dungeon is intended for mature audiences, as this show contains adult themes. Oh wait, I'm being told it's not those kinds of adult themes. Just sensitive stuff that some audience members may find upsetting. Content warning for specific episodes can be found in the episode descriptions.
Tell me why I'm so alone when I know you're here with me.
You're listening to Romancing the Dungeon, a softcore D&D podcast about heroes navigating their daily lives while looking for love in a world full of peril, monsters, and heartbreakers. Last time on Romancing the Dungeon.
Galeshire, get on your feet for the legendary heroes of Tezrab, Littlehorn, Warmnook, and soon-to-be heroes of your hearts.
I think they want to see us compete.
Don't worry about what they want to see. I think we can show them what a team looks like.
Hephaesta and Ivan, you can hear the chanting as you see Fia and AJ with bow and arrow in hand and just targets on their abdomens. You've seen nothing yet. As we take Hephaesta Tinderson and Ivan of the Forgotten Vale and we match them against the Heartpiecer Manticore.
This seems much more difficult than what the other two had to do.
You push the rapier through its chest on the other side and into the stone, and there's a crack. A huge head, a third, a claw, as a Draco Hydra pulls itself out of the pit.
Are you lonely, miserable, or just plain horny? Well, you've taken the first step to solving your problems. At least your dating ones. Welcome to D8. Devoted, desired, dreamy or dirty. Dapper dates for dejected daters. My name is Roz Grapers, founder, CEO, and love wizard. And what the hell is that thing? Oh god, it's hideous. It looks like it smells awful. It's so angry. Oh, that's just Hephaesta. And right behind her, a Draco Hydra. Well, that's my cue to run. But tell me, as we run for our lives, how do you handle conflict?
I like to keep my distance. You know, shoot from afar.
Sorry, is that it? Okay. Generally speaking, I like to go straight towards it. I think the best way out is through. So I tend to go through them with generally a rapier or, a glaive or whatever pointy object I have.
Well, I don't, or I do in that I just punch a lot.
I'm so sorry. I don't think you're on my books. Do you need an application form?
Roz, I hate you.
I've never had a Draco Hydra. Oh, sorry. Oh,
Swear to God.
oh, it's just my vision's blurry.
Rosalinda, I tried to live my life.
Say it again.
Rosalinda.
Oh, say it again.
Miss G. Miss G, I try to live my life as conflict-free as possible, but it is important if conflict is unavoidable to keep a clear head. Most accidents happen when you panic, so above all, don't panic.
There's an accident in my pants right now.
I don't think that was an accident, Rose.
You caught me red-handed. Everybody give me an initiative roll, and we're doing kind of a partner initiative check. So if your partner is conscious, they can also roll initiative. Ivan, is Hephaesta up?
Nope.
Okay, so you just roll initiative by yourself.
23.
Natural 20 for 24.
Ooh, okay.
I got a 10, but
I mean, you are stuck under a pile of rubble, so that checks out.
Okay, what we're going for is just to kind of where this takes off. Ivan, as you stare down the multi-headed maw of this 5-headed dragon that's just pulling itself out of the earth, the screams of people running from the Semple as large pillars just collapse. You see soldiers escorting and grabbing and trying to help. Dreyfus has leapt from his seat
followed by a handful of soldiers and Marigold, who's frantically trying to get the king back and out. Dreyfus, from where you can see, is very much gunning to fight. Fia, underground below the Semple, as the creature was just emerging, and you haven't seen it. You've kind of whipped back and you see that AJ, who had your hand a second ago, is now buried under rubble.
Can I try dig him out again?
Yeah, give me an athletics check.
10.
There's just heaps of rock and sand and dirt. There's smoke filling the room, and as you are pulling at just chunks and moving it away, where he should be, where he was, you pull and just a chunk of rock falls inwards. AJ's not in there.
AJ?
Fia, help me, please. Fia, oh my god. Fia, oh gods. Fia, get me out of here. Wherever I am, get me out of here. I'm just going to wriggle towards you. I'll just wriggle towards you. Fia, please help me.
Give me a wisdom saving throw at disadvantage, AJ, and Fia, give me a perception check.
Okay. 28.
14.
Everything is dark and everything is heavy, AJ, as you just feel this enormous pressure on you. You are squeezed between a huge slab of a pillar, and just sharp, jagged pieces of rock are sticking in you. You can barely wriggle your fingers and toes as you scramble. You have dirt in your eyes, you feel dust in your throat, and as you scratch your cries and screams for Fia to help, you move and you feel the dirt shift, and you feel everything kind of slip for a second, and everything is cold.
Oh god, not again, not here. Fia, help me, please.
Fia, a little deeper, you can hear the muffled cries of AJ kind of calling out to you to help.
I just start scrambling to move rubble and rock and anything I can to get closer.
Are there any survivors? If you can hear my voice, call out.
Hello, help, please, I need help. My friend is buried, please, help.
Just through this cloud of dust and under the half collapsed doorway into the dresser room, locker room that ye were given as sort of a base, you just see kind of a shadow gliding in, swooping under, quite a tall figure, and it has to squat quite low to get under. And as they come in and out towards you, your eyes kind of adjusting to what you're seeing. It's a man in, his gear is very different to the gear that AJ was wearing, but you do see the insignia for the Galeshire army, but his clothes look a little bit more like something a guard might wear on an off day, but carry the badge. He's a Shaderkai elf, about 6'2", soft mauve and grey skin, just sharp white spiky hair, and he has these swirling grey eyes. He steps in and he's like, Miss Izzidrim, are you injured?
My friend is buried. I need help, please.
Okay, you have to be really careful in these situations. You could, if you pull the wrong thing, bring all of it down on top of him. Who's buried?
AJ is buried.
Do I hear this sexy male voice?
You can make out Fia talking. You can hear another voice. It's a man's voice.
It's all I need to know. AJ doesn't know when he uses magic, but he immediately casts Mold Earth to get himself out of this rubble.
Okay. Moving your body around and the energy just sort of rolling through you, you do start to feel the dirt. It's almost like a little ripple of a wave. And the entire time you're trying to listen to the conversation, you recognize the voice. Yeah. It sounds different, but there's something in it. And Fia, as you are kind of looking down at it, the guy kind of looks at you, and he kind of gestures for you to take kind of a step back. He moves a piece of the earth and it comes away a lot easier, but you also see the ground starting to shift. It looks a little like quicksand.
I start panicking and I start screaming like, AJ!
Breathe, Fia. I will get Agilia Steele out. If you want to clear the room.
No.
Very well. And he kind of goes back to taking bits of it out, and he's going to roll at advantage because of you inadvertently casting Mold Earth at the same time. Okay, that's an unnatural 20. He pulls another chunk, and you just see AJ's hand kind of wriggle free, and you can feel space, you can feel air, you can feel a little bit lighter, but it's an instant panic of, okay, I'm free, and then the reaction. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
14.
Okay. The mold art continues. The magic around you kind of goes, and you feel a hand grab and pull yours. and you are pulled out of the ground. And Fia, you see AJ just pulled out of the earth by this Galeshire soldier.
Just not thinking, just blindly going, Fia just runs to AJ and just hugs him straight away.
Thank you for getting me out of that. Thank you so much. Is everyone okay?
I don't know. I'm glad you're out. I'm glad you're okay. And then realizing she's hugging him, she steps back and turns to the stranger.
He's not there.
Where's he gone?
Who was here?
Another elf, another Shader Kai elf. He was the one who helped. I couldn't do it. He helped. He moved the rocks.
Does Shader Kai make me think of anything? I mean, obviously there's not just one in the army.
It's that strange thing between the voice and now Fia saying it was a Shader Kai elf. When you go to reach for that memory, it's that thing of, and it's all the commotion and you can hear people screaming for help. You hear a tremendous roar blast through the air, and with it, the ceiling overhead actually shakes and more dirt and rock spills violently down around both of you. Give me a dex saving throw.
17.
24.
It's that thing where you both hear the shifting of the sand before anything even falls, and the pair of you step and glide and turn and weave around it. The ceiling above you is going to give way as you pull on the memories.
We gotta move fast.
Yeah, just run out the door, and I think running back towards where Hephaesta and Ivan are in the fighting arena.
Above the arena.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Fia, as you slip under the doorway and again, AJ kind of just a step behind you, you see that the passageway up into the arena, huge parts of it are swallowed and have collapsed. You can still see kind of ways through it, but you just catch a glimpse of that Shader Kai elf in the distance. He's got one of the Semple staff kind of underarm, and he's leading him up and out kind of a side chamber.
I kind of gaze at him briefly and then refocus on running towards Hephaesta and Ivan.
It's going to take you about 3 turns before you get there. Ivan, in front of you, you see the 5 heads of a dragon, all just kind of coiling up out of the pit. 2 huge claws just dragging it up, and with it you hear this ferocious charge and orders boomed by Dreyfus that almost cut through the screams, and you see guards just snapping to attention as he utilizes his leadership feat. Guards immediately rush to help everybody and anybody that needs escorting out. They're looking to free people that are trapped. They're trying to keep some sort of sense of crowd control. Your ears are ringing from the explosion. Just out of the corner of your eye, you see Hephaesta lying there, the corpse of the Heartpiercer Manticore lying dead. But your look is fixed on Hedonna, who at the other side of the Semple is now running towards you, and behind her you see that second figure, the woman that she was speaking to. Hedonna just reaches out her hand to you.
I reach back. I reach my hand out to her.
The woman behind her takes Hedonna's other hand, and both of them just vanish in front of you. And there is a roar from the 5 heads that just explodes outwards as 3/4 of this monster has emerged from the pit below, and you just see huge chunks collapsing inwards. You hear a voice. You can hear Dreyfus. You saw Hedonna, but you just hear a voice. Nate, for the love of boners! And you turn and you see Ike with a small group of the disciples of Accolade. They all glow for a second as each of them casts Mass Healing Word, led by Ike. 36 people recover 32 HP, Hephaesta included. That is thanks to the audience poll on the Discord, when we asked the audience who would the crowd rally behind, and they decided to rally behind Hephaesta, probably knowing what was going to happen. We rolled a group initiative to determine what was going first. So now we're going to roll a combat initiative for those present at this point.
17.
Oh, 17. Perfect. Yeah, let's do that. 2.
Marigold got a natural 20. Dreyfus got a 19. Guards that are helping, guards that are going to attack got a 10. Hephaesta, just as you just feel that surge of healing magic kind of take hold and your eyes blink open, you can just hear, Hephaesta, get up! Get up! Just kind of shouted at you from somewhere. There's this roaring echo and your eyes kind of shift and you see 2 of these sort of burnt jade green heads with burning yellow eyes, 2 smoked ash, one with just a very, very deep scar across its left eye, both with kind of these sort of swirling black masses for eyeballs, and in the middle of them a red and bluish sort of scaled dragon, each with spindles of horns like crowns, and some with kind of a heavier jaw set, others with sort of a fin going back over their heads. As Dreyfus charges at the Draco Hydra with this, he's wielding this huge warhammer in both hands. There's a shield strapped to his back that was hidden, but he's come charging in with the warhammer in both hands. Marigold is right behind him, like frantically kind of just grabbing at him, trying to pull him back, and there are soldiers trying to catch up to the pair of them. From where you are lying, Hephaesta, and Ivan, what you can see, they are behind this creature, and its tail comes up out of the ground, and you just see all 5 heads rear back, and they kind of all turn in almost as if to face each other at an angle, and the air starts to vibrate, and it starts to get very hot and very cold, and you feel the hairs on your arms, the back of your neck, all starting to stand, as if the very space that you're in is beginning to fizz with energy and electricity. And there is a small ball of light beginning to coalesce in front of the 5 heads as their mouths just open further. Marigold, on seeing this, skids to a stop. She holds out her right hand, and from nowhere, just this long, spindling staff of black wood emerges from the ether, and she's whispering something, she's saying something. The whole space around the arena floor, it's as if the air has gotten thicker. Marigold has cast Wall of Force 120 feet in front of her, right in front of the Draco Hydra. It is Dreyfus's turn. He's gonna smack that tail with his warhammer. Nat 20 for Dreyfus. Who's pumped. So that's
finally
an immediate 10 damage. Plus 7 plus 5 is 22 bludgeoning damage. He runs in, just sort of letting the warhammer slip from his grip till he grabs just the base of it, swings it up over his head, and then throws his whole body forward as he brings the flat of the hammer right down on the Draco Hydra's tail. There is a crunching and splat as he actually bursts part of the tail, just a chunk of it. 2 of the heads rear back in pain he's done significant damage there. Hammer in hand down on the tail, you all just hear oh, and he goes to swing again as he uses action surge, losing himself in the fun that he's having. That is not going to hit this time though. Again, in that same momentum of down, back, whacka Draco Hydra, he goes down for the tail again. One of the heads kind of snaps back, and when it does, one of its back legs just sort of whooshes the rest of it up out of the pit, and the tail kind of swipes, and his hammer hits the flat sandstone of the arena. It is Ivan's turn.
So the 5 heads are sort of doing like a charging thing now. They're like all facing towards each other. Is that right?
They were, but 2 had kind of like looked back, but there is this energy manifesting, and you can still see that they're concentrating on this, whatever they're doing.
That works out quite well for me, I hope. So on the 3 that are doing that thing, I want to cast command at level 3 and tell them to halt. So it'll be a wisdom 15 save.
You shout halt at the three heads fixated on this ball of light and energy that they're just sort of crackling around them. As the magic is conjured and just powered through the word, the magic hits and just sort of dissipates past them. They don't register you at all.
In that case, then I will use my bonus action to cast Warding Bond at 2nd level on Hephaesta. So she gets a +1 to AC saving throws and has resistance to all damage.
Seeing the magic just sort of wash over the three heads, and you see one of the eyes kind of flits and looks at you, but they don't register what you've said. You can kind of hear Hephaesta coughing and wheezing. Looking back, you see that she's getting up, Ivan, and with that, you redirect your magic towards her as you cast Warding Bond. The Draco Hydra. Ivan and Hephaesta, give me Dex saving throws.
14.
Natural 1 + 1, 2.
It's still a nat 1.
Yeah, I know.
You're scrambling to your feet, Hephaesta, as Ivan, you see the other two heads just snap back, those two jade green heads. There's a moment of silence, and then there's just this blast of snow and sleet straight from that ball as all 5 of the heads release prismatic breath. You throw yourself out of the way, Hephaesta, you scramble and fall. And then as the breath just shoots straight forward, it hits Marigold's spell. And the entire breath is just dissipated across this invisible barrier. And you just see this sheet of ice where the breath catches and holds. As the spell just wafts out, some people on the fray are kind of caught at the tail end of the breath. And you see people scream as like a hand turns black blue from frostbite. Chunks of seats are coated in ice, and even the floor, the ground beneath its feet, just has these small shards of ice just sort of erupt and stick in place as its breath is just trapped by the wall of force. From where you are, Ivan, as you kind of went to move out of the way, you've advantage now where you can see some of the soldiers, you can see Marigold, and you see Dreyfus swinging that warhammer. There is a rather pleased look on Marigold's face as she watches the creature's prismatic breath to just do nothing, or at least do minimal. The guards on Dreyfus's order, and there is a use lot, get them out. A handful of guards just run at Ike, who is swinging her version of the copper rabbit and is just smashing up some of the ice that's on the seats. Somewhere in the distance, Jess is like frantically calling out for his sister, and a guard comes at her. She goes to attack the guard. He grabs her by the scruff of the neck, and she's now swinging and flailing, cursing and casting magic left, right, and center. The guards that had come down with Marigold and Dreyfus now kind of take the flank of the king and are trying to draw on the attention of the Drakkar. They're trying to pull some of the heads away, and they take a few swings and stabs. They're quite competent guards, apparently, but their damage is not so great. With spears and swords, lunge and swipe at the Hydra's back legs, at its tail where King Dreyfus has wounded it as well. When they do, one of the heads just kind of snaps back. It's that sort of instant reaction of, what's that? It turns back, and a guard in panic just sort of turns and freezes. The spear sticks the creature right in the eye, and it lunges forward, and his spear goes deeper. The creature flails back, and you just see the head rear backwards in agony. It flops dead on the ground as one of the jade heads just turns almost to stone. It is Hephaesta's go.
She drags herself up off the ground again, just sort of grumbling and tired and angry and fucking over it. And she just turns back and she looks at this thing and just heavy sigh, rolls her eyes, and casts Tasha's Mind Whip. So it needs to make an intelligence check.
That is a 7.
16 damage. It cannot take a reaction until its next turn comes around. And on its next turn, it has to choose whether it moves, takes an action, or a bonus action. It can only do one.
And can you roll your...
Yes.
On your table? Like, yeah.
No, it's a 10. So
okay, that's fine. So nothing. You kind of getting up, you hear Ike shouting at you. You see the soldiers, you watch one of the heads die on the ground, and it's just, when is there ever going to be a break? And as all of that energy and all that frustration gathers, you feel it like a spike in your mind, and you focus on the red and blue head of this Draco Hydra, and it's just, God damn it, and it just, psychic energy just whips out of you, and you see the creature actually recoil, and at the same moment you feel a stirring within you as the emotions go to overwhelm, and you steady yourself. Any bonus actions?
Is a healing potion, is that an action for you?
So the potion, drinking the potion on a bonus action, you roll the dice as per the potion, and you take what that gives you. If you use the potion as an action, you get the full benefits of it.
Yeah, look, I'll take it as a bonus.
Okay.
7. I got 7 off it.
And you got your 4d4 plus 4?
Oh, sorry, not the plus 4. So what is that? 7 plus 11.
Okay. You knock it back.
Chug and smash.
Yeah, it is that thing of like you swing it and it's smashed on the ground. It is Marigold's turn. She, the entire time, has that staff out, and you just hear her, whatever we do, we can't kill this thing. It's going to be a pure nightmare. Dreyfus just laughs it off. We'll deal with it afterwards, Mary, as she just winces, and she is going to attempt to cast Hold Monster, which means she's going to drop her concentration on Wall of Force to do this.
The wall's the only thing keeping me alive.
So it's a wisdom saving throw, DC 16 with a +1 to the Draco Hydra's modifier. That is a 10 + 1, 11. Marigold in her right hand as she conjures that staff, and it, like I said, it's that spindle. It's like the branch from a tree that fell into a bog. You just feel magic radiating from it. She just moves it from extended completely to her right in front of her. There are wisps of that cold air just drawn to the tip of the staff. That air, those cold wisps of wind just rush out like chains and bindings, and you see them wrap themselves around the heads of the Draco Hydra and around its legs, and it is paralyzed as the magic just explodes around it. The Draco Hydra is paralyzed. At the end of each of its turns, it can make a wisdom saving throw. Attack rolls against it have advantage, and any attack that hits the creature is a critical hit if the attacker is within 5 feet. Kind of not really reading into what Marigold was attempting to do by casting Hold Monster. Dreyfus is going to have at it.
Monster.
Yeah, it's an 18. That is definitely gonna hit. 9 + 5, 14 damage.
Ooh,
Plus 10.
Plus 10 for a crit.
24. Seeing one of the heads dead on the ground, Dreyfus takes the opportunity to run up it. Seeing the creature not able to move, he's like, oh yeah, it can't bite me now. He had already decided to run up its neck before he realized, oh yeah, these things bite. Oh wait, it can't move. Haha. And he smashes the Warhammer into the red and blue dragon's head. The dragon rears back. You can see it kind of wince in pain despite the paralysis. Ivan.
So taking the opportunity that is there, I'm going to start by casting Thunderous Smite, and then I'm going to make 2 attacks on the Hydra. That is 23, and then the other one is 27. 7 and 7, so that's 14 on the first attack.
And it is a crit.
And then it's a crit, so is another 20 on that first hit. And then it also needs to roll strength or be knocked prone.
It has disadvantage. Oh, that's a nat 20 on the first one, or 8. So 8, it's knocked prone.
So I've done 34 on that first attack.
Yes.
And then the next one is 14, another 14. So that's 48 damage.
Seeing Dreyfus kind of take charge and just leap at it. Well, I'm like a quarter his age. I can do this. Well, no, he's 1,000th of my age, really, when you think about that. It's that weird thought in your head as you are already running at the Draco Hydra. You just kind of hear, come on, laddie. You run in and you charge at one of the grey ash heads. You just jam the rapier right at it. It catches it right into the jaw. You break one of the horns straight through as there's just this crack of thunder that bounces off the walls and up into the air. And with that, it just starts to bucket. The sky opens and sleet and rain and snow all just plummet straight down on top of the Semple. As your blade slices straight through, the head rears back, and all sense of the color just becomes this sort of stonewash thing as it rears back and it falls. Another one of the heads has been destroyed. It is the Draco Hydra's turn. It's going to have to make a wisdom save on the hold, and it doesn't. So it's now prone, paralyzed. 2 of the heads have been killed, and you see it sort of struggle against Marigold's magic, and she's holding that staff now in both hands in front of her. And for a second, Ivan, there is this sense of, I did it. You watch as like Dreyfus is like, whoa, 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 and he's still on top of that blue and red head as he's kind of like holding himself, and he kind of crouches down, he grabs onto like a chunk of horn that he broke off, and he's holding onto that edge. It falls to the ground, and when it does, the 2 heads that had just completely been obliterated burst open, and 2 more heads emerge. 2 sort of soft snow white heads, thinner and smaller than the other 3 remaining. From the green head, 2 sort of vibrant swamp green younger heads also emerge as 4 heads have regrown on the Hydra. It's the guards. They are going to actually roll to see if they are terrified. They are incredibly terrified, but watching their king straddle the middle head and
just like a rodeo. Is he just like,
yeah, he's a full on, like, yeah, it is. It's kind of like a good game of Buckaroo for King Dreyfus right now. They're going to still hold firm and attack, but it's going to be at disadvantage. Okay, that is an 18 or a 23. Yeah, they're sticking it out. They continue to slash and stab at the Draco Hydra. They've kind of formed a protective wall around Marigold, and you just see one of them kind of like triumphantly jab upwards at the tail, and it catches, and then immediately he is flattened as one of those automatons that's meant to look like Talik stumbles out of the rubble and in a heap collapses, and all around the Semple you see the automatons of Galeshire's legendary heroes rise out of the ground. The lights blink and flash from white to red as they draw weapons and converge towards the middle of the Semple arena. It is your action, Hephaesta, and then these things are going to go.
Yeah, so she just kind of looks around at these things and she's like, I swear they better be here to help. And she goes in at it closer. She's going to cast Scorching Ray to start. So advantage on the hit. 19 to hit. That's 15 damage.
Okay.
And then she's going to spend 2 sorcery points to also cast Witch Bolt at a level 4. Oh no.
what?
Okay, so I got a 22 to hit with the Witch Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a concentration, so that holds and I can keep doing it.
I feel like there's a butt coming.
There is, hang on. That is the 5 damage. And then I got a 20 on my table.
Okay. So
I need to roll a d10 for that one.
Yeah.
A 1.
Okay, yeah, this is pretty nifty.
Okay.
You focus, Festa, just this absolute radiant beam of energy just from the palm of your hand erupts. 2 more to sort of split from it. All 3 concentrate on the Draco Hydra, and you catch it in its underbelly. Like, you actually just sear right through its underbelly. And at that same time, it's that thing of, this thing has to go down. There's more things coming. They're here to help, right? No, can't concentrate. The heat around you, sort of the air crackling, you draw on more energy as you focus on Witch Bolt. And it is this thing of, I can do this. I know I can do this. There's a soaring confidence in you as your unbridled heart and swirling emotions coalesce. The Witch Bolt forms in front of you, and just concentrating on that magic, lightning just shoots straight from it and strikes the Draco Hydra. You pull your hands apart and a second witch bolt forms. You now have 2 concentrated on it. So your damage went from 55 to 95.
Wow.
Fuck yeah.
Dreyfus is looking a bit like, again, his hair is poofed out, his beard is poofed out. He's a little jittery from the jolts that he's also getting from being on top of it. Marigold watches as the Talic automaton just brings an arm straight down on top of a guard. She panics and stumbles back. She's going to roll for concentration. She's going to hold her paralysis, but she screams, Dreyfus, the automatons, and Dreyfus looks around the arena. You see that the clockwork, steam, idols, monuments, statues of Mary, Glenn, Yarn, and Tarek are on the attack. Hearing Marigold scream that they've turned, Dreyfus looks as Glenn and Yarn from opposite ends of the arena charge towards Hephaesta and Ivan. He shouts to watch out. Mary at the other end is just sort of moving quite slowly inwards. And at that moment, AJ and Fia, you round the neck of the climb up to the Semple arena. Give me initiative rolls.
7.
Also 7.
We're holding hands.
Who has the higher dex modifier?
18.
19.
So it'll be Fia first and then AJ. It is King Dreyfus. Watching the creature jolt and 2 more of its heads have just collapsed. No, wait, sorry, we said 95. 3 heads. 2 of the younger ones and the second grey ash head have all collapsed. There's a glint in his eye and he reaches for the shield up over his shoulder, takes the hammer in one hand, and then you just see him throws the shield up into the air and it hovers.
So fucking cool.
So cool.
He brings the hammer down, so 26 hits for 19 damage. He literally swings up, and when he moves, you watch as the shield just kind of, he spins, the shield moves with him. He spins a little bit quicker, the shield doesn't react in time, and he brings the hammer right down on top of the shield, and he wedges it into the neck of the red and blue head of the Draco Hydra. There is a wheeze of a breath as the Draco Hydra takes its last breath, and the entire creature's body turns to stone. Mary, it's wedged again, and he's trying to pull it out. Ivan, you see 2 automatons bearing down on you. They're just these glowing red eyes.
In that case, I shall start by casting Divine Favor, which will give me an extra d4 to my attacks. And I'll just attack the nearest one to me with 2 attacks. So 15 and 27.
Both hit.
So that's 14 on the first attack, 11 on the second attack.
And that's just normal damage. It's just normal slashing.
6 of it was radiant, and then the rest was piercing.
You're not sure if it's Glenn or Yarn. You weren't paying attention to AJ's lectures. There's some difference between the two of them, but these are just 2 stupid clockwork robots. It's Glenn Yarn, one of the twins, you think. Some of that information stuck. It has just a sword and shield in either hand. You lean and lunge with your rapier. The blade slices and there's a scratching and sparks. You only feel the radiant magic just get pulled, and there's a jank as the mechanizations inside it react to the magic. As far as the weapon is concerned, it almost bounces off of its metallic form. The guards are going to try and take on the form of Tarek with their swords and spears. It's the same thing. The handful of guards that are trying to protect Marigold are sort of surrounding the automaton, and they lunge and stab and swipe, and their weapons just glance off of it, and there's the sound of metal against metal and a flash of sparks. The automaton doesn't seem to flinch or be damaged in any way at all. It is Fia. As you and AJ emerge out onto it, you see the monstrous form of a 9-headed dragon lying dead on the ground. These constructs bearing down on the guards, the king, Marigold and Hephaesta and Ivan. And as you emerge out onto it and you see that Ivan takes on Glenn, because you can clearly tell the difference because AJ described it in such amazing detail, you see Mari turn with a sword in hand to face you, and the upper half of her body turns first, and there is a spit and hiss of gears and pistons as it turns to face both you and AJ.
What's the distance from me to
About 15 feet.
Ivan?
About 90 feet.
Bonus action, manifest my echo.
Okay.
As a special, I can unleash incarnation, which would give me 2 attacks. And because that automaton is now within 5 feet of Ivan, I'm getting sneak attack bonus on both of these attacks. They're both 28 to hit.
Okay.
With 23 damage off of Fia, 21 damage off the echo.
And what damage is it?
Piercing.
As you draw an arrow, the echo does the exact same thing at the exact same time. It's in sync with your movements. And AJ, you watch Fia and the echo of Fia both draw bow and arrow and fire at the same time. They crack into the back of Glenn's metallic head, but there's no indication that you've done any real damage.
These are robots. These are robots.
Robots.
These are
Yeah,
robots.
that's what we call them now in Romancing the Dungeon. They're called robots.
Yeah, rowboat. Robots have
Robots.
have
Robots and robots.
things.
Yeah.
I kind of want to just make an active perception check around for like where these run out of like a table, or like how do these work?
Give me a perception check.
Perception check for an off switch.
Yeah.
18.
AJ, it is that thing of looking at the automaton in front of you, and you're trying to scan it, and you're trying to keep an eye on Fia and Fia's echo. God, there's 2 of them. Oh wow. Yeah, that's cool.
Still my heart.
You watched as its upper half turned first. You do see that under the chest cavity, there is quite a concentration of what look like tubes. Whatever energy source, whatever is kind of pulling through, it seems to be kind of carried or funneled or pumped through these automatons through this, and they don't look like they're made of metal.
Ooh. Okay. I don't know if that was my action, so I can actually scoot along. I can action surge.
You can action surge because because you're it's not a thing of what do I see, it's that thing of you're actually studying it.
I'll action surge. That's the best way to do it. And I'll attack at that point. Yeah, you know what? I've never done this before. I can bonus action True Sight, which lets me see into the ethereal plane and other things the True Sight does. I'm going to do it anyway, so I'm going to use that charge.
Gonna find out.
Yeah.
Like me casting command.
Oh, great. Does a 19 and a 17 hit?
So the 17, because you're aiming specifically for this part of it, 17 won't hit.
Okay.
But the 19 does. You knock the first, and the magic rushes through you, and it's an intense wave. You don't know the last time you've done this. You can't. It's that thing of every time it happens, is this the first time it's happened? It's because you see everything for the first time, and there is an overwhelming energy as you see everything for what it really is. And immediately to your left, there is just this raging aura of hatred and darkness emanating from Fia. At the opposite end, a little further on, it's hard to see because it's at the extent of the range. There's something else there at the other end of the Semple. It's almost like what you're holding and what's at the end are one and the same, as if they know each other, as if the bow in your hand knows the thing at the end of the opposite end of the Semple. There is somebody on the ethereal plane, and their eyes lock on you as you fire the first, and there is just this jolt of panic as they see into you. The first arrow bounces off of the metallic armor of Mari. The second you concentrate on it and you look away from that figure, that person, that shadow, and the arrow punctures straight into the cords, the tubes, whatever it is. And where they rip and cut, you blink and you see the automaton, and then your eyes adjust again and you see it for what there is. Inside, wedged, there is a small ball that is spinning. and there are glyphs and runes on it that twist and turn. It is the inner mechanization. It is the core of these automatons wedged deep within this. The arrow glances off of it, and there is a crack of light. And that light is growing.
As the arrow spindles against this gyroscopic force, it will unleash grasping arrow as thorns sort of from the inside out spread out, adding.
What was the damage on the 19?
11.
Okay. And with grasping,
9 poison damage.
out of the arrow grow these thorns, and you see them sort of snarl and stick and stab further into the rubber tubing. This orb, this ball, and the gears in it don't seem to react to the poison. Your true sight lasts, duration is 1 hour. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that figure sees you and knows you. It runs.
The figure.
The figure starts. You watch as it is running towards the other end of the Semple. It's running away from you. It is the guards, and they are going to keep doing what they are doing. They're trying to keep the automatons at bay. Their weapons again bang and clang against the armor of Tarek, the automaton, but they don't manage to even make a dint into it. Hephaesta.
So there's one rushing at me.
Glenn is currently occupied with
Right.
Ivan, so yes.
And the one coming at me, how far away is it?
It is 30 feet.
Perfect. Okay. So she kind of just shouts back at Marigold and she's like, why are they attacking us? What did we do? And at the same time, casts Witch Bolt again. 16 to hit.
16 hits.
Okay. 12 damage.
Yeah, Hephaesta, you bark at Marigold, like, why are these things attacking us now? And you just hear, yes, because I have all the answers all the time. And just kind of like gritting and snapping, you fixate on Glenn or Yarn. You weren't paying attention to what AJ was
This
saying.
asshole.
This asshole that looks, it's weird. It's like a robot. It's gross. It's a robot, sorry. They're freaky. Pulling on that crackling energy from within, you throw it out as an arc of electricity just zaps the Yarn automaton right into the chest. And you do see it sort of like clink and clank and sort of like react to the energy coursing through it, but it continues moving towards you. Bonus action?
No.
Okay, and then it is our automatons, Fia and AJ.
No.
A 12 to hit Fia,
No.
and a nat 20 to hit AJ.
Let me check. Yes.
Okay, that's 19 slashing damage in total.
Intercept. Minus 14 off that damage.
Okay, so 5 slashing damage. AJ, you watch as the Mari automaton that you sunk an arrow into raises its hand up very sort of slowly, and you can see whatever fluid is inside those tubes is leaking out. You can see the faint glow of light getting brighter within. It slices, and as it connects, Fia, you immediately just lunge with the bow, and it glances off as you sort of redirect the attack. It sinks and cuts, but it doesn't kill you, and you feel the pain coursing into you. Ivan, a nat 20. So 8
What?
plus 1 is 9, 12 slashing damage.
Mari takes 3 slashing damage from moving while there's thorns inside of them.
Okay.
And it's not a lot, but it might make a difference.
And Hephaesta, that is 20 to hit, but unnatural.
Yeah.
11.
Okay, so you
Okay.
take, is it rounded down?
No, I round up.
Okay, so you take 6 and I take 6.
Okay. Can I react?
Yeah, with Hellish Rebuke.
Yes. Now, that doesn't affect my Witch Bolt, does it? Because it says the spell ends if I use my action to do anything else. It's not an action, it's a reaction.
I'm going to rule Hellish Rebuke reaction, not your action, so Witch Bolt can stay up. So roll for Hellish Rebuke. I don't get like a save on that, do I? I always ask this every time you do it to me.
No, it just happened. So sorry about it, because that is 21 damage.
Fine.
21 fire damage if it makes a difference.
And you were attacking Yarn.
Whoever's attacking me.
Okay. I just need to quickly scramble. Pay no attention behind the curtain. So it was on you when you did this, right? Because I had attacked you and then you Hellish Rebuked against it. So it was on top of you. Give me a dex saving throw.
Oh,
You get a +1.
I have disadvantage.
What's giving you disadvantage?
Armor.
So what did you get on your deck save?
4.
Take 9 fire damage.
So I take half,
So 5.
and then he takes
5.
No, I take half as a fire ganassi. Do I take half the 5 then because of his spell?
3.
So you take 3.
You're welcome.
Sam was not even paying attention. She's like, why am I getting hurt?
Yeah, Hephaesta, as the yarn automaton, as it brings its long sword down on you for a strike, and when it does, you see its whole body turn on this axle. It seems to be coming back round to attack a second time. Your whole body just erupts in flame. They quench as you cast Hellish Rebuke, and the yarn automaton is engulfed in fire, and it is that sort of sound as it explodes. Shrapnel, chunks of metal, flames, burning oil are all sent flying outwards. Some of it catches and burns, and there is that sort of sting of the initial sort of response, and then your body kind of reacts with the natural resistances to fire.
Wasted another fucking witch bolt.
I mean, you defeated it.
I'm down to level 1 spells only. We're all, well, I'm fucked. Everyone else is probably fine.
But I mean, you defeated it.
I guess.
I mean, it's still alive if you wanted to be.
No, I just wanted to use the concentration part of the witch bolt like once.
Okay. Well, stop being good at it. Marigold watching the automaton explode. They shouldn't be doing that. And she looks at the guards and the fact that they've kind of surrounded the Talic automaton, and her eyes lock on Dreyfus, who's eagerly eyeing up the Glen automaton. She runs at him, staff up into the air, and just sort of swings at the air, and space and time opens as she casts Dimension Door, and she bundles into Dreyfus, and she just shouts, "Save the city," and pulls him into the Dimension Door. And the shield falls with a clang as both Marigold, Wolver III, and King Dreyfus vanish from the battlefield. It is Ivan's action, and you are locked in combat with Glen or Yarn.
So I'm going to just attack and do an extra attack if I can. So, I rolled 2 17s, so that's 2 25s, so they both hit, correct?
Yeah.
So altogether that is 17 radiant damage, and the piercing damage is 17, yeah.
Again, it's the same as before, Ivan, as you, with the rapier, stab, lunge, and almost swipe. The magic is pulled in, and you see the automaton sort of react and convulse, and the gears even shift and stick as it swings and turns. As the metal of your blade bounces off of the metallic armor, there are scratches, but they don't even seem to they haven't cut, but the magic is being absorbed, and it seems to be jolting the automaton. Its movements are a little bit more stuttered than when it first lunged at you. Then it is the guards who are still trying to keep the Tarek automaton going, and on a 17 they'll hit. Between them, 14 slashing and piercing damage. As much as they are scraping and scratching at it, the automaton doesn't look like it has been, it's even phased. It's not registering these attacks as any sort of severe damage. It is Fia.
Seeing that my arrows didn't do any damage, what I'm going to do is that with this other automaton that's kind of near us, is it in
melee range of both of you? Yeah.
Bonus action, I'm going to disengage, go behind AJ, and then I'm going to give him the help action by helping him steady his shot. So whatever arm he's using to hold out his bow, I'm going to help steady his arm to help aim his shot. Cute.
It's that thing of you're watching its movements, and this thing it's reacting violently to whatever AJ has done. You just sort of slip away, and its head kind of half turns. It doesn't seem to register that you were there a second ago, as you step behind AJ and just kind of taking a breath, place a hand on his shoulder and a hand on his chest, and it is that thing of your matching breath to just steady him. So you have the help action from Fia, and it is your turn, AJ.
Feeling this roiling creature of darkness whip around me and place their hands on me. I do want to take a moment to look at the thing that ran away, to have like, just mentally be like, see if I recognize it later. And then with a free action speaking, shout to the guards and say, aim for the abdomen. Somewhere in the chest, there's a core. To give them a kind of...
Give me purely because the thing is running and it is in the ethereal plane, give me a perception check to see if you notice anything about it.
Ooh, 8.
You can shout free action, but if you want to catch a glimpse or do anything to this, an 8 is not enough to glean any information about it. It's just a blur of the wall, the sand, the smoke, the space around it. It's obfuscated from you. You can take your action as normal, or you can continue to try and focus on this thing, but it is moving away.
I care more about my friends than the mystery, so I'm so sorry everyone else who's as curious as me, but I'm going to attack the thing in front of me with 2 attacks. That is 25 and 24 for 18 points of damage.
Trying to tell the guards what to do, try and put out that feeling you felt about Fia and that darkness around her, the figure moving through the ethereal plane that you can't quite get a read on. Your attention diverts back to the core and that orb, and you take aim and you fire. And even here at this range, it's quite a hefty shot as the arrow again hits that glowing orb, the runes and glyphs on it. The crack widens and the light gets brighter. Whatever this core is, it contains a lot of power. Hephaesta.
Just so you know, bonus action with Fia around me gives me the strength to second wind, and I heal myself a little bit.
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna firebolt at the one fighting Ivan, because he's on his own over there. 17 to hit.
17 hits.
And that is 8 damage.
Kind of just standing in the wreckage of the clockwork corpse of Glenn and or Yarn, you turn and just a hand down to your side, some of the flame from the burning oil drawn upwards to your hand, and it coils and it just shoots and it smashes into the back of the automaton that is engaged with Ivan, and the magic is pulled in, and you can see that the heat from the fire has even kind of melted some of the metal. That seemed to do a deal of damage. Automatons. Glenn is going to go for you, Ivan, and that's a 19 to hit.
Just hits, yeah.
And a nat 20 to hit.
Okie dokie.
So that's 25 slashing damage.
Yeah, go.
It lunges with the blade in its hand and it slices across your shoulder. You go to move out of the way. It anticipates somehow, and the blade comes right down across your chest. A 12 to hit AJ.
Does not hit.
And a 14 to hit AJ.
Does not hit.
Okay, and the guards. A 13 is not going to hit, but a 24 is going to hit this poor guy. Tarek automaton kind of wails down on them. One kind of brings his sword just up in time to meet it, and not quite deflect, but sort of just bear the brunt and protect himself. As he steps back, the blade from the clockwork creature just sort of swings forward again, trying to replicate the same move. A guy with a spear is holding his up defense. It cuts through the spear and catches him right under the chin, slicing into his neck and up along his face. He stumbles back with a rather deep cut and a lot of blood. Ivan.
I'm just going to do the same as I did last turn, and do 2 attacks. And that is a unnatural 20 and a 26. Going to do my Divine Smite again with Divine Favor. 23 piercing, 24 radiant damage.
Okay. Give me a Dex saving throw.
That's a 7.
Take 8 fire damage. As you plunge the rapier into the chest of the automaton, there is a great grinding sound as you just carve metal. You don't see it flinch until the magic just courses from you into your weapon, and that pulses through him. And there is just a kind of a blink of light that you see inside. It blinks, it dissipates, and then there is a boom. Chunks of the Glen automaton explode outwards. You are caught with fire. Another one
bites the dust.
My poor
It's
automaton.
spelled BYTE.
Oh, because a rowboat.
You are getting inspiration for that.
Oh.
Okay, you're not getting inspiration for that.
I was involved.
So you helped him get inspiration. You're his Fia.
Can I end warding bond? Because like fuck that.
Yeah, you can stop the spell.
Oh no, it's an action to dismiss it, so I actually can. How far away from you is she? How many feet?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Probably about 50 feet.
I move 15 feet away.
I just run in the opposite direction for a minute and then turn around and come back.
I need to be 60 feet away from her just for the spell then. So I'm just gonna now that my health is low, I've only got one spell slot left. I'm gonna take a look and be like, she's fine. And then I'm just gonna gauge it. That looks about 50 feet. And then I'm gonna walk 11 feet away.
Are you moving in the direction of the guards and their automaton, or are you
How
moving
close to them am I?
You're closer to them than you are Hephaesta.
Yeah, I'll move towards them.
Okay. You move in the direction kind of going, oh, thank God, as the connection between you and Hephaesta drops, that bond that you magically conjured between you two. And Hephaesta, you feel just that energy, it was there and now it's gone. The guards are not doing so good with the 13. They kind of turn to help Robert, the guy who got slashed last time, taking sort of a defensive stance. They're holding their weapons up against the automaton and seeing you, Ivan, moving towards them. They're like, oh God, one of the heroes is coming. Yes, this is why these people are heroes. He's clearly doing this to help us and not for any other reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Totally.
Fia.
I'm going to move a bit back from the automaton that AJ is aiming at, and here, and he's saying go for the abdomen. I'm going to try to shoot for the abdomen of the automaton. My echo is still if I move too far away, my echo's going to dissipate, so my echo's gone. 27 to hit.
That will definitely hit.
For 9 damage. Is AJ still within 5 feet?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. 19 damage total.
Okay, AJ, give me a dex saving throw.
Ah, that's not bad. 23.
Okay, you take 4 fire damage. Fia, you take 4 kind of large steps back from AJ. Bow again in hand, you watch as your echo dissipates and you concentrate on where you saw AJ's arrows hit and connect, and you loose another arrow. There is a moment where you hear just a metal almost hitting off of something stone or ceramic. It's like kind of a ding. And then there's just silence, and then a searing, high-pitched sound, a flash of light, and then there's an explosion as you watch as the Mari clockwork creature just explodes, and AJ's arms go up in defense as the tips and any exposed skin are seared by flames.
Oh no, my fingerprints.
How far away is the last automaton from me?
Over 120 feet away.
I'm going to use my bonus action to dash in that direction.
Okay. As the Mari robot explodes, you see AJ still standing. He's fine. And you are running through fire and metal as it just explodes around you. And you are dashing straight towards the other end of the Semple Arena. You see Ivan also moving slowly away from Hephaesta towards the automaton. There's only one left. AJ.
I'm going to take some shots on the one that is left.
I assume you're aiming for...
The core.
That's going to be at disadvantage.
I will use Tides of Chaos to give myself advantage on the roll, leaving it on one of them anyway. 13 on the regular one.
Okay.
And I'm disadvantaged 19.
So on the regular one, a 13 won't hit, but even with disadvantage, the 19 is going to hit the core.
This is a little bit of D&D fuckery. I'd like to do Banishing Arrow, but on the core if possible. It needs to make a charisma saving throw. I'm thinking if it just whoops out of existence, the thing might fall, and then when it pops back into existence, it's nothing to... That's my...
Everyone can shoot it.
Yeah, it's just a thing. I want to control alt delete end task on the core. Force quit.
Okay, I'm going to let you, but you have to roll on the Wild Magic Surge.
Yes! I'd love to.
Even better.
And I'm not allowed to use command on a dragon. Dragon, it's a bit common. But you know what? It's got fucking ears. Whereas a fucking hunk of metal. So, how charismatic is this hunk of fucking metal? Do you know what? Not only did the Hydra have ears, I had fucking 10 of them. Hate this game.
If it makes you feel any better,
No.
Okay. I get to roll with advantage against the banishing arrow because these have resistance. So
52.
okay. So I mean, it's not a bad thing anyway, so that's okay. What's the
11?
The save is 11. It has a -3 to this.
Oh, nice. So advantage, but for what?
-3. Yeah. So that's 14 or 7. AJ, you can just about make out the automaton, but even with its size, you're aiming for a core that is, you're hitting an egg at the end of a racetrack. You've taken shots like these before, and you know how it goes. And there is an element of luck in this. And as you draw the arrow and you focus on the magical energy around it, you pull something from deeper within you, that sort of pool of magic that sort of sits there in like a dark cave. You conjure it, you let the arrow fly, and immediately there's a flash of light around you as a spectral shield now hovers within range of you, granting you a +2 AC bonus.
Oh, nice.
And giving you immunity to magic missile. The magic surges out of you as the spectral shield forms. As Ivan and Fia race towards it, the arrow kind of just whizzes straight past Fia's head, and you feel that rush, and you feel the magic second after it, Fia. It strikes into the core of the creature. It hits, but the automaton is still standing. The guards see the arrow sticking at it and see that you shot it, and are like, there, we're idiots, there. Bolstered by you taking that shot, they are going to try and aim for the same spot and miss with the 6. Their weapons aren't quite enough to puncture that protective layer around the core. Hephaesta.
I'm just going to throw another firebolt at it. So that is 23 to hit, and another 8 damage with a firebolt.
Conjuring from the flames around you, you focus and hurl another roaring bolt of fire. This time it strikes the Tarek automaton right in the back. The arrow that AJ hit now catches fire as well. So there is now a flaming arrow
pointing here, right here.
Bonus action?
No, I'll hold on to things. I don't trust you to not have another horrible, sneaky secret coming.
It's only got the 3 guards in front of it, and a 7 is not going to hit, but a 23 will. Robert goes down. The first, it swipes, and the guards kind of get in the way of Robert to kind of defend him, kind of half stumbling over each other to block it. They leave a gap, and the automaton just lunges with its blade. It catches Robert straight in the stomach. Ivan.
Again, I'm just going to run in 2 attacks and hope for the best. Oh, natural 20.
Yes.
And an unnatural 20.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I assume you're going for the flaming arrow of...
I suppose.
Okay.
So 11 plus 8, that's 19 piercing damage. And then 10 radiant damage. Am I doing full damage then for the 1 hit with the Divine Spy on it?
I mean, you can.
I will.
I tell you what, actually, yeah, go for it.
Okay, so that's 2d4s and 2d8s.
Okay.
So, and then of radiant damage, so that's, what's that? 24. Another 24 radiant damage, and then another 32 of piercing. So, no, 24 of the radiant, and then I was adding an 8 to the piercing.
Yeah.
So if radiant's only doing it, then it's 24.
It's not a case of you just obliterate the automaton. You lunge and you see AJ's arrow, and he's doing something. Like if he was trying to hit it, he'd have gone for something else. He's clearly trying to shoot at something in it, and you don't quite know. You trust him. Right where the arrow has half of it's buried within inside this mess of tubes and leather, and you just jab, and you feel it crack And immediately there is a surge of magic, a really powerful surge, and you push, and the magic is enveloped by your attack as you draw the explosion into your rapier.
Oh.
The automaton collapses in a heap without exploding.
Ooh.
Nice.
Magic weapon. Magic weapon.
Yeah. For 72 hours, you will do an additional D6 of damage with this rapier, magical damage.
Quick, find someone else to fight. 72 hours is not that long.
There is a sigh of relief from the two guards who are cradling Robert as Fia you run in on top of the others. All around you, guards that were trying to help put out fires, get people away, were kind of watching. There's just kind of a clap, and it gets louder, and then there's cheering. People who are injured, people who were frightened and terrified, people who were cowering kind of come out, and they are just roaring for Fia, Ivan, Hephaesta, AJ. They're roaring for the city of Galeshire, the city that conquered a Draco Hydra. The guards are kind of helping to gather up any of the remaining survivors. What are the four of you doing?
I think in my mind, because it's all happened so quick, I look back at AJ because he was under rubble previously, and I go back over to him and wrap an arm around him to give him support, basically, just if he was injured or that.
As you walk over to AJ, you see he's collapsed to his knees and is just quietly sobbing, trying not to look at the Semple around him. But when he feels you approach, he stands up, wipes the dusty tears from his eyes, and says, "Will you be my date to the King's Ball?"
Okay.
Cool.
And I give him the support so he can lean on me then.
Who looks the worst?
Probably AJ.
Put a hand on his shoulder, and I'll do a lay on hands and give him 20 HP back.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
I think Hephaesta just kind of shuffles up, but she's not really saying anything or reacting to much of anything. She's just here.
While we're all gathered, and I have my arm around AJ, the note that fell out for Fia from his thing, can I sleight of hand it back to where I found it?
Yeah. Give me a sleight of hand check.
That one, you
what's
accidentally pull his pants down.
Everybody's passive perception.
16. 14.
11.
23.
Okay. None of you, no one notices you. People are now kind of climbing down out of the seats, just sort of barreling towards you. More of the Galeshire City Guards are coming in to help take away anyone that's injured, help continue to look for people that might have been buried or trapped. It is just a lot of people that almost crush towards you. And there is just... and the crowd kind of begins to kind of part as a figure short weaves through them with authority, and standing before the four of you is Sebastian. Well done. You find yourselves triumphantly saving the Semple, His Majesty, several of his senior ministers. The city owes you a debt of thanks.
Fuck off, Sebastian.
Hephaesta perks up a little bit.
Not now. Just give us a moment. And please, fuck right off.
There's just silence in the crowd, and you feel Sebastian's eyes just kind of fix on you.
I fix mine back with the glow of true sight and say, I see you.
Give me a perception check at disadvantage.
Ooh, 18.
Nice.
The other was a natural 20.
Here in front of you, the blur, the size, the shadow, the movements, all of it, you see all of it. And his eyes don't shift from you as you look at him. There's a carriage outside to bring you back to the palace. Doctors will attend to you. And he moves away.
My report will be on the king's table in the morning.
And as the crowd kind of parts to let the four of you find your way to your carriage, to bring you back to the palace. We'll leave the episode there.
Tell me why I'm so alone when I know you're here with me.
You've been listening to Romancing the Dungeon with Amber, Sam, Louise, Ben, and me, Declan, your Dungeon Master. We are back in 2 weeks' time. And look, I know the joke is the finale. We're going to have the finale. The finale is very soon. We are recording the finale today. If you are listening to this episode as it dropped on November 4th, Louise, Ben, Amber, Sam, Eilis, and I are currently sitting in my kitchen recording the finale. So it's on its way. It's on its way. Season 2 has been long. There's been an awful lot packed into it. All of it insane. All of it completely and totally off the charts and nowhere where I thought the season was going to go. But nonetheless, it has been an adventure and it has been a lot of fun getting to play and then putting it out there for everybody to listen to as well. As always, a big thank you to Ghost of Red Mountain for our theme song Haunted. A special thank you to Ralph is Redacted for our title card and artwork. You can find out more about who we are over on our social media channels at D8 Dungeon. If you have the time and you are a fan of the show, then we would love if you'd leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcasts. We have a brand new show starting live on Twitch on November the 6th. You can check us out for Beyond Horizon's Edge. That's it. We are very close. I promise you, we are very, very close to the finale. It will be here very, very soon. Until then, take care, stay safe. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Ooh! AJ with some balls.
What did you sneak into his coin purse?